Oh, look at that one smiling over there. Come on. Oh, look at your home. Yours looks so big. Look at the cock. Get button.
Pardon? What did I say? Did anyone hear that? I didn't hear that either. I'm going to ignore it because I feel like it was some sarcastic comment, so I'm just going to ignore that one.
Oh no.
Welcome to the safari, everyone. I need a lot more excitement now. Welcome to the safari, everyone. Right, one more time. Welcome to the safari, everyone. There we go, that's better. So my name is Lily. I'm going to be taking you on the safari today. We've already met Trevor, the tractor driver. His job is to get us from A to B from every pothole possible. So, right, which brings me nicely onto my house safety. It is a little bit bumpy, by a little bit, I mean a lot of it, it is bumpy. If you've got a bad back, I'm sorry, it's not going to get any better. If you've got a little one next to you, make sure you give them a nice squeeze to feel nice and safe. Because, as you can see, no seatbelts, okay? So make sure they feel safe. Now, if you want to keep your feet on your legs, then you want to make sure they're inside the trailer, okay? We've got lots of deer that like to nibble toes and lots of narrow gateways, okay? If you guys lose a limb, I lose hours of my life putting a table right, okay? So let's keep inside the trailer today. That'll be wonderful. And obviously we're going to be feeding our deer today. I don't want to stop bringing a lovely picnic, okay? So let's keep all our food and drink in our bags. And you don't want us to nick the sandwiches, because they will. They're very greedy. They are very greedy indeed. If you do need a glug of water, that's absolutely fine. Have a drink. But once we're in the safari park, I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, it's gonna smell. You don't want deer slobber. Not that I've tried it personally, but you won't want to drink that. When we go in as well, they are going to have their heads right in between these bars. They are going to come nice up close and personal. Do not worry, okay, they're not going to bite you, they're just going to nibble you. They've got one set of teeth at the bottom, all gummy up top, so they are not going to bite you. When we're feeding them, nice hands up, nice directly to them. They can't get their heads down here, so all this food that you see on the floor, well, that's just lucky for you guys because you get to feed that to them as well. If you pick anything you drop on the floor, just pick it up, give it to them, they'll eat it, they're not fussy. Okay, on to the fun stuff now. So here at Snettisham Park we've got 329 acres, that is a mix of arable land and livestock. We have our wheat production, mostly goes to the mill that gets turned into flour. Our durum wheat gets turned into pasta. My personal favourite, which is barley. What does barley produce, everyone? That's the one. Yeah, our barley goes to the beer and whiskey industry, that's what it gets turned into. And our sugar beet, cruising the name. Sugar, that's the one. Our sugar beet will get eventually turned into sugar. and that gets sent straight to Silver Spoon Factory, so their sugar is 100% British from start to finish, so we're very proud to support them. We have our new little dog agility course here. So if you've got any fat or lazy dogs and you want to give them a little run around, here you are. I want to try and get the red deer on here, but I don't think they're having to put through the tyres, so I don't know if that one would work. Give it a good go anyway. Also on the farm we've got lots of grass, you'll see that as we go around. It's usually a little bit longer than what we've got on the right, and when it is at the right length we give it a nice cut, bale it, turn it to hay. We use this throughout the winter to feed our livestock, so it's a really important resource for us. Sometimes we wrap it up in black plastic and let it ferment, that's called silage. It's a bit stinky, but it's very nice. Again, not human consumption, not that I've eaten it firsthand. So we'll head out onto the road. Any bags you have, backpacks, handbags, any sort of bag, you either want to keep behind you or underneath the seat. I would recommend putting them underneath the seat, because they really won't get them for anything. So you've got, luckily, so the other trainer as you saw is it's died, it's dead. And so this one's a bit higher up on this bit, so they can't get their heads right on the floor, but I would just be careful of your bags and your jackets and all that. So we'll now head out on the road. So this is Thomas Lane. So this lane spans from Brancaster to Colchester. Why enthusiastic here you are? That is because it is the old Roman road. So Colchester is the Roman capital, so it's a way cheaper to get from the coast right over to the capital of Colchester. It is 89 miles altogether, so it's quite long. It's part of the Eagle Way, which is one of the Roman little tracks all through the roads of Norfolk. If you do want to go to Colchester, I would recommend driving, okay? I won't walk it, as I said, it's 89 miles a long old way. It's one of the only roads that hasn't got a billion potholes in it, so it's one of the nicer routes. The Romans knew how to build a road. So we'll just turn off it after the bumpier track. You're welcome in advance. So here on our left is 14 Acre. So back in 1985, 1986, this is where the red deer originally came down from Scotland and they lived in this field here. Now the people of Snettisham had never seen a red deer before, so they got awfully excited. A lot of people were just walking around, going into the field entrances, blocking up the trackways. So it was a lot safer for the animals and for us to put them into our new deer park, which we'll be going into today. Now it's a lovely crop field. Does anybody know what this crop is here? Sugar beet, that's the one. Yeah, this is our sugar beet field. Obviously not the green stuff, alright, the green stuff is the leaf, the sugar beet is underground. You can't now say to your parents, oh, sugar's green and fully of 5 a day. It's not, okay, it's underground, the green stuff is just the leaf. Now what we're going to try and do is, because they're really close to the gate this morning, so much so that both Trevor and I had to get out on the last bar and shoot them off, which is quite daunting because they are quite big. So what we're going to do is when we go through, we're going to try and get them to chase us straight down to the field and take them into the middle of the field, so it's a little bit easier for us to get out. And also you can have a little look at the site a bit better. Now we have our hinds, they're our females. We'll be feeding them primarily because there are lots of them. And they do have their babies with them as well. Now we're not feeding the babies directly only because they're still on mother's milk. So if they have some of your deer food that you've got, the amount of protein in there, they have some of that, they'll be on the toilet for weeks, okay? So just behind. We will see our stags as well. We have 3 stags, Rufus, George and Randy/Rogie, and I'll talk about why it's a double name once we get in there. Now George is looking a little bit peculiar today. That's because he is shedding his velvet, okay? It is a little bit gruesome. The velvet, it grows on top of the antler, so you've got the velvet fuzzy material, then you've got the antler, and in between that is a live bloodstream, okay, to help the velvet grow. Now the velvet has died, so that is coming off. And obviously that's coming off, so it's exposing that bloodline. It's not hurting the deer, but it is a little bit red, and that is just because it's just falling off. It's like, imagine it smashing out, it's a bit too gruesome, I'm not going to do that, but it's just, when the velvet falls off, it has the bloodline, and that will all be washed off in literally a couple of days to give that nice white antler. But the other boys, they're absolutely fine. Now I'm just going to hop off to open the gate. Luckily they're not at the gate this time. They're alright little pests on the way back from the last safari. Again, guys, I'm needing the excitement. Okay, I know it's raining, but welcome to the deer park. Yeah, that's what we like to do. So obviously, yeah, on the left we have our stags. Our three boys are over there. Now we're going to just do a quick check-in, see where the others are, and then we will hopefully take them down to the pond if they're not already there, which I believe they are. We will come back to feed the boys, so make sure you feed and save a handful of deer food for them. Like most men, if you don't greet them with food, they get rather grumpy, okay? So we've got to make sure we save some food for our boys. Now that is Rufus, so you can see they're proudly walking along. Now here's our alpha. He is 16 years old, you can tell. And the other boys you'll see later on. Now as you can see, his antlers look a little bit different from the others without all the spikes, the tines in the middle. That is basically a biological way of the body saying, that's it mate, you can't be doing all the spiking anymore. See, if he got in a fight with a full set of antlers, he'd have nothing to protect himself with in the middle. So because he doesn't have the testosterone to actually grow the tines anymore because he's so old. You're still lovely, Rufus. As you see as well, on the left we have this rather large body of water. This is the old reservoir. So this used to be used to irrigate our potatoes. If you know anything about potatoes, I'm sure you'll read about them in your spare time, you'll know they're really bad for the environment. So we stopped growing them and it's now a lovely fishing pond. Maybe, but not pond. So if we don't touch or feed the deer until we're at a complete standstill and the engine is off, they will chase and they will put their heads in, just resist temptation for me until we're completely stopped.
Oh, look at the baby! Smiling.
Well, when we're feeding them, guys, if you keep your hands like this, nice and cupped, okay, and directly to them. The quicker you get your hand out, the less you're going to A, spill, and B, get slobber on you, okay? And this is Sandy here, okay, this light coloured deer, and she is a pain. She's our phantom nibbler. So if I hear anyone go, oh, I know they're feeling Sandy, because she gets to me. But she means out of love. It's a learned behaviour. She knows the more she nibbles, the more food she'll get. So she's actually very clever deer. So yeah, as you'll see on the right, they have their own private little swimming pool. Obviously these deer originate from Scotland, so they're used to swimming from island to island. These deer can actually swim up to 15 miles an hour for a duration of about 10 miles, so they're really, really good swimmers. Obviously there are lots of ducks, lots of Egyptian geese.
Oh,
Hi, babies! How cute that is! Coffee!
About getting no rain from us.
I
Should have worn a jacket.
Mom, how
Right,
old
we
is
shall go
Sandy?
and see our babies.
17.
Now, baby Reggie, a full calf. Now,
They're
they're
special
special, but we do call them Bambies because of their lovely white
She's
dots.
blonde. Yes.
Now, their white dots do disappear after 3 months. They're just used as camouflage for the first 3 months of their lives. So the mums will leave them in big old tufts of grass, and it helps them blend into their surroundings.
Wipe it on me.
Got lots of lovely moorhens on the right as well. Now our first baby was born in May and our last one was born last week, so they do really span. Our youngest one is a week old, we'll try and find her.
Did you not guess it?
The younger they are, the brighter their spot, that's one of the best ways to remember. We've got a lot there.
I agree.
These are our babies. Now you probably noticed we've got lots of stags, few hinds and lots of babies. So in the wild, one stag can date, shall we say, 70 hinds about 2 weeks. So yeah, our stags dated all 50 of our hinds in a fortnight as well. Now we've got all these lovely babies.
I got a mean in the
I'm really sorry.
I got a mean in the money.
Really oh, you smell like. Just wait a second.
Don't risk standing up.
So yeah, as you can see, we've got one of our calves feeding from Mum over there. Now the cool thing about red deer, so with cows, obviously their udders, they're quite low, whereas with our red deer, they're nice and compact, so they're used to running and jumping a lot, and it wouldn't be very good if they had hanging udders, so they're all nicely up the top and out of the way. So our deer can actually run up to 30 miles an hour, so you can imagine running and jumping at that sort of speed. You wouldn't want anything getting caught. Especially udders, that would not be nice. Right guys, we're all ready to roll, put your hands away. So the deer know it's time to go.
Sorry.
Lovely job.
Goodbye, baby.
Everyone say goodbye to our deer.
That's
Get a
you.
bit of speed up so they won't fall. Otherwise I think the speed's going to kill.
Gorgeous.
Quite off.
We're just going to join back onto the track and just hold on to my there'll be a little bit of a bump. So this piece of ground here on our left, that used to be the Richmond Snettisham. That one was the one that is
Oh no, not on here.
we're now leaving Inglesthorpe. This whole time when you fed the deer, we were in Inglesthorpe. That's because just here we're crossing over the River Ingle, which gets us from Inglesthorpe to Snettisham. I say river, it's pretty steady. There's no Thames, but it's pretty nice. So we'll now head off. Sorry about the tractor driver, everyone. So yeah, as you can see, George on the top right. That is right, I'll get my left one. Yeah, they're still a bit red, so he is shedding them at the moment. It doesn't hurt him, it's just a bit annoying. But we'll keep our distance on unless it's a little bit stressful for us. As you can see, he's got a lot more time than Rufus. So you can imagine him getting in a fight with Rufus. Rufus really wants to stand a chance. So yeah, it does look a bit gruesome. In the next couple of days, that will all be cleared. He'll wash them off.
Oh, nobody's got any food for him.
You should have a bag of food there, just give him a little bit, keep him happy.
Oh, I don't have a food bag, but I have a banana. You can have a banana.
Hello, darling.
Okay.
Here you go, George. Would you like a banana? Banana.
Oh, look at you.
You want a banana? I thought it was a banana.
It's a banana.
Oh, okay.
Like the other boys, he'll wash that off that all day.
Okay, your head hold.
Lovely job, let's go. Get back into that right. I think I'm going to put jumpers on between this. Forgot my jacket, I'm not very smart.
I've just switched the heaters on here.
Oh, that's lovely, Trevor. You enjoy yourself.
I looked at the weather forecast, I thought, okay.
Oh, I was sorry I didn't have time to look at the forecast.
Put me long round.
Yeah. I don't think I could have dressed any less. What we'll have to do is we'll try and get rid of them before we get to the gates, otherwise they'll try and follow us out. So just make sure we're not feeding or touching the digs, and they'll know that we're all done. Feed away, so just hold on tight.
No, it's the single wheel axle, so the trailer bounces up and down a lot more anyway. Whereas the other trailer is a double axle.
It's still trying, isn't it? Oh, no.
Just hold on tight once we're done. You're very smart, we are umbrellas. I'm not so smart.
I used to do that too.
On the tractorway?
Right?
On what?
At Sackwell.
On here?
Oh no, at Sackwell. I had to do those sorts
Oh no, you
of-
just hated it.
And now she feels.
Doing the tour. That.
Yeah. On the tractor ride at Sackwell, that's what I had to do. The sheep races, the ferret races.
No, stop. I hate that.
And the lamb feeding.
No, that's wrong. So we are now I said, we have our sugar beet field. Now, as you see, it is quite sparse, not very dense at all, not a lot of cover. So we've got lots of partial fencing here in Norfolk, and you can imagine being one of them trying to get from A to B. It's a little bit scary, especially as we've got lots of birds of prey here. So we have our red kite, buzzards, we have lots of peregrines, sawthorns, sparrowhawks, kestrels, lots and lots of different types of birds of prey that would love to eat them up. Well, we also have these lovely hedgerows, so these are made of native species such as hawthorn, blackthorn, holly, lots of lovely native species. And these work as nature corridors, which is basically just a conservation term, meaning an animal get from A to B, a little bit of cover, they don't have to worry about being Mr. Kite's dinner, and they can get through safely. Now also some birds and bats use these as a guidance system, so they kind of see where they're going, like an organic sat-nav almost. And obviously we use them on the farm as well as boundaries. Now who's already been around the farm today? Have you met the little piglet? Yeah, lovely. So imagine that little piglet in the middle of that field for me. Now imagine me chasing that piglet through that field, the next hedgerow, the next field, the next hedgerow, halfway across the other side. That's exactly what happened. So little piggy fell off the back of a lorry in King's Lynn, was brought to us by the vets, then made a great escape from us, and there was nothing I wanted to do more on a Friday evening of 28 degrees as a 20-year-old girl to go chase after a pig for an hour and a half. So I had a lovely Friday night, and I did finally eventually catch her after an hour and a half with a little help from my dad. And I called her forest after forest gun because I've never seen anything like that fast in my life. So she is lovely and she's someone lives to love, so when you go around the farm, make sure you give her a nice little tickle and track. Also a bit of telling off as well, because she really did love me around. Forest. Oh, forest go. So we're now heading back onto the farm. So if you look over our left, I don't know if you can see it very well on the diagonal, that is the Lincolnshire coastline over there. So if anyone's from Lincolnshire, that's the way to get home. On our right we have our Hertwich sheep, so these are ewes and our lambs. So Hertwich are fantastic grazers because they've got nice short mouths, which means they can get nice close to the ground to nibble away the grass. Which also means less predominant species have more of a chance to grow, so they don't have to fight for resources for the more predominant. If you look over onto our far right, we have St Mary's Church in Snettisham. It's rather large, as you can see. It is the second tallest spire in Norfolk, the first being Norwich Cathedral. Now if you look right to the top, you'll see it's got lots of different windows. So back in the day, they used to fill these with light, and they would communicate over the watch to Ross to the stump. Now they would communicate with each other to direct the ships in, coming from that side of the coast to us, and it's not. It is very beautiful inside, so I would recommend having a little look around. Also wears Christmas, so it's kind of a big deal. I want to crack on the door one day. But they have to get it right because the first time, unfortunately, the builders, well, they got the plague. And there's not much you can do about the plague back then, so most of the Snettisham was wiped out. The numbers are pretty bad, so once they got the numbers back up again, they finished building the church, and it is lovely. Yeah, I would recommend a little look around. Out here on our left is the old lord of the Manor Farm. So from 7 years old you could come here and work on the land. You would then live up in the roof of his leaky barn. If that doesn't sound good enough, guys, that would be a whopping shilling a year, which in today's currency is about 5p. So parents, if you want your kids to have a summer job next year, you know exactly what to do. Pop a bit of barn, we'll get them to work. It's raining now, isn't it, guys?